I'm Robert. Welcome to Robert's Guitars and Gear. There is something so satisfying about the roar you get from a distorted Les Paul guitar. That's just not, you can get great sounds from lots of guitars, but there's just something special about that. Well, what is this? This is an Epiphone Les Paul Muse. This is from the newly hatched Epiphone inspired by Gibson line. This is a $500 guitar in the US. And the question is this a good guitar? Is this a good guitar for a newer player? The short answers are yes and yes. I think this is a fabulous guitar. So let's talk about it for a minute from the perspective of a newer player. And then we'll talk more about the features and talk about how it sounds. So what we have in this package is a combination of some very traditional Les Paul characteristics. The single cut body shape, the 22 fret design, dual humbuckers, the 4 2-volume and 2-tone controls. Very traditional, very Les Paul. This guitar comes in some very different finishes. There are various metallic, colorful finishes. I got the gold because it's actually smoked almond because it really looks the most like a classic Les Paul. So it has some very classic Les Paul features and some things that are a little different. In particular, this one is an Okume body. Now, what is Okume? I have no idea. It's an Okume body and an Okume neck. Now, it's like all Les Pauls, capped with a maple cap and then with the finish applied to it. But it's not a mahogany body that we would expect in a classic Les Paul. Now, interestingly, if you look on the Epiphone website now, they claim a mahogany body for these. So that's something they may have recently changed. Another difference from a classic Les Paul is that, number one, you see this belly cut, they call it a scarf. It's the reason I bought this. Les Pauls classically are slabs. With this belly cut, it becomes much more comfortable and ergonomic to play. Classically also, Les Pauls are very heavy. They're just a thick slab of mahogany and maple. This has a chambered body. So chambered means not a hollow body where the holes or the chambering is designed to give you a resonant characteristic. This is just for weight reduction. So it's still a solid body guitar. You'd call it a solid body guitar. It plays like one, but it has some of the wood taken out in strategic places for the guitar to be lighter. And they've accomplished that mission. This guitar feels very much like my Strat. Does not feel particularly heavy. So again, coming back to the newer player, first of all, is this a good guitar? I really think so. In fact, I think this is a fantastic guitar. I'm new to Epiphone, or new to Gibson in particular, but I can't find really anything that I don't like about this guitar. It's a very comfortable neck. It is said to be a slimmer neck than classic Les Pauls. I don't think it's that slim in the sense of a shredder guitar like a Schecter or an Ibanez. But it's a perfectly comfortable neck. I have no problem. I have smaller hands. I have no problem playing this. It is finished just really beautifully. You see this binding all the way around the neck and body. I find the frets to be finished quite nicely. I find the body details to be finished very well. I don't really see any problems with this guitar. So my short answer to the question is, yeah, I think it's a great guitar for the newer player that really wants to get into a Les Paul design. Now there's an SG configuration, and I think it would be the same story. If you really have in mind those great players for Les Pauls or for SGs and the classic rock and blues and other domains, you'll like this guitar, because it represents those domains very well in an affordable package. Now, in this price range, it has some features that you know, are really, really nice in this range. Again, the classic Les Paul controls, which are fantastic because you can set the tone and the volume for each pickup. That lets you have so much flexibility in being able to switch back and forth between pickups and boost yourself, for example. The other really great feature is that the volume pots are coil splits. So you're going to get a pretty good coil split single coil tone out of these pickups, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. The other exotic feature, which is fun, is that the tone knob for the bridge is a pull-out, push-pull pot that puts the pickups out of phase, and that gives you a whole nother range of options for out-of-phase playing, and it's a distinctive sound, and you can go online and get some great demos of what that out-of-phase sound looks like. I don't really use it, but it's there for you. So in a very much an affordable, lower intermediate price guitar, you're getting some very nice switching, and that kind of complements overall the very nice finishing and overall package, which I think is great. So with all of that, why don't we play just a little bit more so you can get an idea of what these pickups sound like. These pickups are Alnico Classic Pros. They're Epiphone pickups. I think they're kind of mid-range Epiphone pickup. They're said to model or take after 57 Gibson pickups, as opposed to the Classic 59, said to be a little hotter, a little higher output than the 59s, which you would get an Epiphone in, for example, the Burst Bucker or Pro Bucker. I think they're good pickups. You make your own judgment in the sound demo, but they sound good. There's nothing cheap sounding about these pickups. And I just, you know, if you're into this style of guitar, I think this is going to be a great choice for you. So let's take a listen and see what it sounds like. Start in the bridge pickup. I am playing through my Marshall DSL 40C amp. Very, very cool amp. I'm using amp settings for clean and for distorted. And I just want to give you a feel again for what this sounds like. It is pretty cool. Appreciate that Les Pauls traditionally have what we call a set-in neck or set neck. It's glued in, so your body and neck become like one piece. It has a very distinct resonant characteristic for the guitar. Gives it a lot of sustain and a very distinctive contribution to the roar that you associate with Les Pauls. Just a really cool sound. The bridge pickup, similar, but you know, again, a little different character. Again, very nice package. I'm not going to go through all the options, but I will show you one thing, which is that I really like to keep the neck in the coil split. Because if I flip my amp to single coil and I'm in the neck, we're going to get a pretty decent single coil sound. So I'm in the neck position. I've got the coil split pulled out. So I'm in a single coil tone, and check it out. Sounds pretty good. So if I sum this all up, in this Les Paul Muse for $500, for very much an intermediate price guitar, you've got a Les Paul guitar that really gives you what you want in a Les Paul. I would hold this guitar up absolutely against for example, my Fender Playability 2, which is more expensive than this, out of the Fender family, made in Mexico. I'll do a video comparing those guitars just to get an idea of what you might get in a Fender family as opposed to what you're getting in the Epiphone family. In this price range, you have some other great guitars like the Ibanez S521, for example. It's a guitar I've had and reviewed. Again, a medium price guitar with great pickups and great switching flexibility. So there's great guitars in this range, but if you like a Les Paul, this is a great candidate for you. Again, the quality's there with this belly cut, the ergonomics are there, the pickups will put out what you need. You can get a very good single coil tone to give you that versatility you want. The neck feels quite comfortable and good and well finished, and I think you'll like it. So check it out. I always encourage you to try before you buy, and leave any questions in the comments. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.